My 3-year-old pushed me yesterday, let me tell you about it. We were about to have dinner and I told him he needed to do something before we could go to the table and eat. He was not happy about it. He said, "No, Mom, I don't want to do that." And so I got close and I helped him listen to that boundary like I talk about. And I said, "I know, buddy, you don't want to do this first, but we have to go before we can eat dinner." And he got really angry and he shoved me away from him. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember. I did not in that moment say, "No, we don't push," or "go to timeout," or "stop being rude," or anything like that, because I didn't want to meet his frustration and dysregulation with my own. The thing you have to remember about toddlers is they are always communicating to you in the best way that they know how, in the only way that they know how. And if they're doing it in a way that's rude or disrespectful or hurtful or anything like that, your job is not to get more angry at them or yell at them or shame them. Your job is to get curious about what's going on underneath and give them a new way of communicating. He didn't push me because he's a bad kid. He didn't push me because he's mean and I have to cut that out of him right now or he's going to grow up and be a horrible criminal or any of that sort of nonsense, right? He simply was frustrated. He didn't know how to handle that and it came out as pushing. He didn't want to do the thing that I was asking him to do and it came out as pushing, and that's okay because that's my opportunity to turn this into a teaching lesson. This is why in my Toddler Tantrums guide, I have this framework of prep, in the moment, and teach. This is a perfect example of now I've noticed a behavior, right, that I don't want to continue. I don't want him pushing when he's frustrated. And I can ask myself, what's going on underneath? What does he need to learn or change? Or what do I need to teach him? And how can I start to prep that? In this instance, he just needed a model of how to express that frustration, how to talk to me, how to use his words instead of pushing. And that's something that maybe he hasn't learned yet or hasn't really been ingrained in his brain yet. And so I came in and I was like, "Oh, I can't let you push me. You're really frustrated about it, huh? You wanted to tell me, 'No, Mom, I don't want to do this right now.'" And giving him that language, giving him that model of how to express this sort of feeling, how to handle this sort of frustration is exactly what's going to help him next time do a different behavior. And now he's 3, so I'm not going to expect him to be perfect, right? This is something that he's still learning and still modeling, but it's all these little moments that add up. And when you know how to not see the surface level behavior and get triggered in your own emotions about this is rude, this is defiant, my kid's being bad, I have to teach them to cut it out. You get to what's actually going on underneath and you learn how to use, like I said, that prep section of my guide or this framework of how do I actually teach them what they need to know. And it's through that approach of parenting that the behavior is actually going to stop, not just now, but long term.